Hi, I'm Nick. I'm going to be showing you today how to do the tracking on it'll be the same whether it's a 40, an LT40, LT50, it'll be the same adjustments. But before you go tracking your blade if it's off, you want to check and make sure your B57 belts are not wore out. It's got to have a good belt to ride on. But if you go adjusting on it, you might not get it right if your belts are wore out. So you want to make sure your B57 belts on your wheels here are in good shape before you start adjusting on it. But if you're running 1¼ inch bands, the rule of thumb is from the lowest point in the gullet to the casting of the wheel here, you should be an 1/8 inch. Now, if you weren't the 1/8 inch, that's when you want to go adjusting on it. But first, when you first put a blade on, you want to tighten up your blade to the proper tension. Put your covers on here. Start the blade. So you're going to have to start your engine. Spin the blade a little bit. Shut it back down. Remove your covers. That's when you want to check your tracking. And anytime you make an adjustment, you'll have to put your covers, reinstall your covers, start your engine, shut it down, take the covers off. For safety, we don't want you starting this thing without the covers over this blade. So after we've made sure that we've started this thing and our tracking is for sure off, we're going to come to this back side, which is on the idle side, and it's the one cross bolt here. The upper and lower bolts here are not your tracking adjusters. It's the one cross bolt, and you have 2 nuts on this outside. There is a lock washer in between the nuts. You want to leave this side alone. We're just wanting that shaft to move inside of this housing here. If you loosen these nuts, this bolt's just going to back out and you're not going to move your tracking. So leave these nuts alone. You're going to take a 3/4 inch wrench and put on this. And if our blade was tracking too far out, we would put our wrench on here and pull it back. Now you don't want to go too far. You want to go like an 1/8 turn, put your covers back on, try it. We just don't want to make too big of an adjustment here because it could cause you big problems if you go too far at once. So if we pulled this wrench back toward us, that's moving our blade back at us. If we went the opposite way, pushed it toward the covers here or toward the housing, that's moving your blade away from us. It's moving it out on the wheels. So, and there again, just little movements go a long way. So adjust a little bit there, put your covers back on, start your engine, spin it, remove your covers, and see where it's tracking at. And when we've done that, if this side seems to be good when we've made a little bit of adjustment and that side is not, that side also has adjusters, but there's one on each side of the wheel over there that's going to adjust your tracking on the drive side. But most of the time it's going to be the idle side that you're going to want to adjust, because this side is the side that's moving in and out to tension your blade. So most of the time it's going to be on the idle side where you're going to do your adjustment. And when we've made sure that both sides are tracking properly, whether it be an 1¼ inch or 1½ inch, the 1½ inch is going to track a little bit different because we're going to have some of the blade behind the wheel and still keeping our 1/8 inch gap from the lowest point in the gullet to the casting of the wheel there. Then we want to reinstall our covers. And what I'd like to see you do is reinstall these covers, start your engine up, shut it back down, pull the covers one more time just for a final check to make sure everything's right before you go to sawing. So that's how you're going to track your blade on your LT40s and your LT50s. But if you have any questions from there, feel free to call us. Thanks.